Welcome everyone to today's demo teaching in Lesson 3, Assessor's Responsibility and Assessor's Guide in NC2 Assessment. In this session, we will be discussing the crucial role that assessors play in the assessment process and how their responsibility and guidance can contribute to ensuring fair and accurate assessments. So sit back, relax, and get ready to delve into the world of assessment with us. Assessor's responsibility. Plan and assessment activity. Assessors are responsible for designing an assessment activity that aligns with the learning outcomes and performance criteria and meets the needs of the candidates. Second, ensure the candidate is ready for assessment. Assessors must ensure that the candidate is adequately prepared and informed about the assessment process, including the performance standards and assessment criteria. Third, prepare the assessment tools or materials. Assessors are responsible for developing or selecting appropriate assessment tools and materials that enable valid, reliable, and fair assessments to take place. Next is ratify assessment procedures with appropriate personnel. Assessors must liaise with industry or workplace or training organization personnel to ensure that the assessment procedures are consistent with industry standards and comply with relevant policies and procedures. Then, set the time and place for assessment. Assessors must coordinate and agree on the time and place for the assessment with the candidate and any other relevant parties, ensuring that the assessment environment is conducive to effective assessment. Next is determine the needs of the candidate. Assessors must determine the specific needs of the candidate and identify any reasonable adjustments that need to be made during the assessment process to ensure that the candidate is not disadvantaged. Next is advise appropriate personnel of the assessment. Assessor must ensure that all appropriate personnel are informed of the assessment, including the candidate, any supervisors or managers, and any relevant industry or training organization personnel. Okay class, let's proceed to the definition of the Assessor's Guide. The Assessor's Guide is a part of the assessment package that provides general instructions on the conduct of assessment for a specific qualification. Meaning, an assessor's guide is a document that outlines the procedures, policies, and guidelines to be followed by assessors while conducting assessments for a particular qualification. Here are the following parts of the Assessor's Guide: National Assessment and Certification Arrangement. This part of the Assessor's Guide explains how the candidate can be certified in a qualification, the prerequisite for a qualification, and who are qualified to undertake the assessment. This means that the National Assessment and Certification Arrangement outlines the process of certification and who is eligible to conduct assessment for the qualification. Evidence Plan. Evidence Plan gives information of the qualification, unit of competency, the list of required evidences, and in what ways or assessment method the evidences will be collected. This entails that the evidence plans provide a detailed plan of the evidence required for the qualification, including the assessment methods to be used, specific instructions for the assessor. This informs the assessor in the qualification title, unit of competency, time allotment, condition, and feedback. This suggests that the specific instructions for the assessor gives specific instructions and guidance to the assessors on the assessment process, including the unit of competency, time allocation, conditions, and feedback. Next is suggested questions and answers for demonstrations with oral questioning. This enumerates the questions to be asked after the performance of candidates' demonstration of the required task and its corresponding answers. Meaning, suggested questions and answers for demonstration with oral questioning provides a list of questions to be asked to the candidate during the oral questioning phase of the assessment, along with suggested answers. Next is list of facilities, tools, supplies, and materials. It specifically identifies the quantity and description of the required facilities, tools, equipment, and supplies to be used in the assessment. List of facilities, tools, supplies, and materials identifies the necessary facilities, tools, equipment, and supplies required for the assessment, including their quantity and description. In conclusion, we have learned that assessors play a critical role in the assessment process, ensuring that assessments are valid, reliable, and fair. Their responsibility includes planning assessment activities, preparing assessment tools and materials, ensuring candidates are ready for assessment, ratifying assessment procedures with appropriate personnel, setting the time and place for assessment, determining the needs of the candidate, and advising appropriate personnel of the assessment. Additionally, we have discussed the importance of the Assessor's Guide, which provides general instructions and guidance for assessors while conducting assessment for a specific qualification, including the National Assessment and Certification Arrangement, evidence plan, specific instructions for the assessor, suggested questions and answers for demonstration with oral questioning, and list of facilities, tools, and materials. Thank you for joining us in this informative session on assessor's responsibility and assessor's guide in NC2 assessment.